Hi, welcome to Matt's Garage. Oh man, it is bodywork mania up in this place. It is, what's the date today? May 22nd. I have 9 days to get this scalp painted. 9 days. Whoo! Everything's moved out of the house. The utilities get cut on June 1st. So I am using everything as a paint booth and just trying to get as much done as I can, so that when I tow the scalp to the rental house, I can still work on it without needing to grind, sand, paint, just electrical, mechanical stuff. Let me give you a tour of my mediocre bodywork. Let me open the garage because I'm getting a little verklempt here. I'm just gonna start by stepping outside because it is serious in that garage right now. Okay, I have gotten Bondo on my quarters, and you can see sort of trying to maintain the body lines, the little end cap body line, and the wheel wells. This is about 2 or 3 sessions of what am I using? Rage Ultra, but I've run out and that stuff takes forever to get, so I'm probably going to use some 3M lightweight now that I'm at this stage, which I can get at Napa and is not Bondo. I have the hiccups, but driver's side, much the same story. I'm trying to retain the body lines. I had a dent I pulled on this side, and that's still giving me a little trouble. I still have some lows and some highs. I banged in some of the highs, but obviously this one is still being a little stubborn, and then I just got to get this in here. A couple low spots here and there. I need to really do the whole so I've done it rough with 60 on the block sander and 80 on the DA sander, and I need to go to like the, what do you call it, the guide coat, just to not so much I know where the low spots are, I just forget when it comes time to put the last layer of Bondo on. Like, that's a low spot. I got some lows here and I can see them now, but then when I clean it and then, you know, rough them up a little bit, I lose track of them. So what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to rough up all the low spots, do the guide coat, sand it, and then they'll be there for when I do my Bondo. This is what I'm using, Evercoat Rage Ultra. Kind of pricey, but definitely sands better than Bondo. This is my Bronco dash that has been modified to fit into a Scout body. You can see I've made the little edge with the cutouts for the defroster vents, and basically what I've got is switches. This is going to be power to the winch controller, winch in and out, camera front and rear, ground override for the electrical fan and air compressor with an idiot light for the winch switch, headlight, windshield wiper, you can open that hole up, dimmer switch for the gauges that'll come out of this hole. So I had to bevel in the Bronco dash to make my bread pan gauge pod fit here. A heater vent, ignition, double DIN Alpine receiver with camera. I got check engine, charging system, parking brake, and brake pressure, and then just an extra light. I didn't know my 3 hot boy switch, USB switch, USB and a power outlet thing, my heater controls, and then the other heater vent, which is like a vintage air product. And then on the ground I've got the tunnel cover. I had to basically reconfigure the holes to work with the twin stick and the AX15. The holes aren't perfect, but they get covered by the custom boot holder and boot. So I just wanted it to be smooth. And then I've got the rack I was using to hold up the Scout for the bed, what do you call it? The Raptor liner. I've repurposed that into just a painting rack, and I've got my painting table for the stuff I can't hang. So what can I tell you? Bodywork definitely sucks. Some guys say, oh no, it's not so bad. It sucks. And I was thinking about making a video about things bodywork guys say, because they all say the same thing. let the panel talk to you. Or make sure you wear gloves so you get more of a tactile sensation in your fingertips. Or only work as much as you need. Or you know, what's other stuff they say? Really feel the panel, feel the highs and the lows, and stuff like that. It's like, it's all true, but it's, anyway, it's late. I'm gonna get back to the rental house. A lot going on with the house. I'm trying to get my demo and excavation contractor signed up. I'm trying to get the fire department, the Woodinville Fire Department. We volunteered the house for them to train in it for the week before it gets demoed. They were gonna do a burn, but I didn't give them enough time because they have to like take the roof off and take the carpets out, but they'll come in and break windows and climb up onto the roof and pretend like there's a fire basically. And then they'd like drop mannequins with char marks on them and rescue them and stuff. So it's a service, you know, it's not every day you get the opportunity. So I just thought it'd be nice. And, you know, I work with the Woodinville fire guys for my regular job. So it's just something we wanted to do. Right, demo, I got my concrete guy lined up. I got to finish buying my temp power thing. I got to get a backflow preventer installed because the road's not wide enough, so I need fire sprinklers, or a liquid booby trap as my neighbor calls them. So a lot going on with the house. Meanwhile, Mrs. Matt's garage is setting up the rental house, letting me do this for 10 days, trying to thrash to get this done. Amazing woman. My parents flew up again to help with the move. Love it. No COVID fear. It's amazing. And then what else is going on? Yeah, so, oh, you know what? Let me show you the products I use. I get asked about that a lot. Here is my box of goodies. So let's start with the first thing. That's not the first thing. That's the first thing. First thing is PPG Omni MP170 epoxy primer in gray. I like the gray. It helps me keep track of where I'm going, but it's easier to cover in my eyes than the white. The white, black, and gray, they all work. It's all a preference thing. Then for the color, I'm using, again, PPG Omni base color. This is the Cavalry Blue Toyota color. That is awesome, and I don't care. And then, oh, sorry, I skipped a step. So I got the epoxy primer, then the Euro Prime, which is a high build primer. This is in a filler, basically. So it's a liquid filler. It's sandable. So after I get done with the Bondo, after I get done with the Bondo, and really, you know, you can see I've hit bare metal in spots, right? So I'm gonna swing the camera back. I will put on the epoxy primer, then I will shoot on the Euro filler, sand it with like a very fine 320 and then a 600. If I break through, I got to go back to the epoxy again, but I'm gonna try not to break through, but it happens. Sand that super fine, then do the base coat, and then for clear, I'm using Euro Clear. It's Pro Euro Clear. I don't know who makes it. It's pretty common. That box of paint and primers and stuff cost me $450. Now that actually is pretty cheap because I've already done, you know, I've powder coated a lot of the body. I did the tub with the Raptor liner. Thanks again, Peter. And then I, you know, just did the firewall with a small bit, and I had some epoxy from the Bronco project. So, you know, if you're doing a project from scratch, I would budget about $1,200 to $1,500 just in like the liquid paint stuff. That doesn't count the sandpapers and the Durablocks and all that. DA sander. I'm still getting used to the DA sander. It's definitely a weird feeling because it doesn't like spin super fast. It like vibrates, spins. Maybe it's because I don't have enough air pressure. I don't know. So I sent my ECM back to affordable fuel injection. So it's been a year since I bought it, right? I bought it so I knew what I needed to do to the body to mount the ECM and like arrange things and how far the harness reached. And I've been going back and forth with Norm, the owner, asking him very detailed questions, which I want to make a video about once we get to startup time. For example, I was worried about fuel pressure cutoff, but the ECM has that function built in. It primes, and then when it loses a tach signal, it cuts off power to the fuel pump. So like, that's good. And I wouldn't know that if I didn't talk to Norm. And like, some of the particulars about lighting the check engine light and stuff. I actually had to extend the harness a foot, so I had to take every wire apart, put in an extension. Hopefully I didn't screw any of that up. That was extremely tedious. That's because I didn't mount it where it's supposed to be mounted. I'm mounting it on my driver's side fender, inside that custom box. So it just didn't quite reach. So I added about a foot just to be safe and be able to route it exactly how I want. Right, so the plan is get as much of the Scout painted as possible, but at a minimum, the quarters, the dash, and that'll allow me to put on the rocker guards, and then I want to do like the radiator, and basically have it be everything except for the front fenders and the hood and the tailgate and the doors. Fenders, hood, tailgate, and doors. So that I can tow it in one piece to the rental. If I can get the fenders and doors and tailgate painted, even better. The top, which is right above me, is not getting done until the new Matt's garage is up and running, so like years from now. And then that's it. Not a quick update, a very detailed update. I'm not going to talk about the body work because honestly, I'm not an expert and I have no business telling other people how to do body work. I'm getting a cramp just from this bit. It's a dance. Do the block dance. Do the block dance. It's like, it's just, and you can't even get it. I'm not even a massage guy, but if I were a massage guy, now is the time to get a massage, and I can't even do it because of COVIDiocracy. But yeah, with that, this is our happy ending. See you next time on Matt's Garage.